comes now to take the shepherd's life. A faithful friend warns the chosen one and saves him from the knife. He stands before his Father's throne and speaks the shepherd's word. The king swears peace, but war returns, and victory fills the shepherd's hand. The shadow falls upon the throne again, and madness grips the king's command. It flies toward where the shepherd stands. He slips away into the night and escapes through his wife's hands. The idol rests beneath the cloth and deceives the king's pursuit. The anointed runs to Ramah's hills, where the prophet stands to shelter him. The messengers arrive, but fall before the Spirit's mighty presence. A second wave is sent and falls. A third wave meets the same. The king himself comes after them and prophesies upon the ground. The servant rests beneath the Lord, while the king is left undone. The shepherd cries out to his friend, "What sin have I now done?" The friend declares he will not rest until the truth is known. A covenant is made between two friends beneath the field. Two hearts are bound in sorrow by a promise they will keep. The empty seat reveals the rage. The father turns against his son. The king casts shame upon his son, and fury fills the room. The spear is thrown against the friend, the plan of death laid bare. The arrows fly across the field, a signal only one heart knows. They weep together in the field, then rise and walk, for all is finished. The shepherd stands before the priest with no bread and no sword in hand. The holy bread becomes his food. The giant sword returns into his hand. The watcher sees it all in silence, standing in that holy place. The hunted one flees into the enemy's land, where the Philistines know his face. He hides behind a madman's face and slips away without his face. The shepherd hides inside the cave. The broken gather around his place. 400 men in debt and pain now gather round the chosen one. His parents find shelter in another land, escaping dangers just the ephod and brings the truth to war. The shepherd hears the cry from Keilah and rises to defend. The ephod reveals the Lord's direction, guiding where to stand. The king follows every hidden road, but God restrains his hand. A friend comes through the wilderness and strengthens what was planned. The anointed waits in the desert. The covenant will not end. The people of Ziph reveal his place, but God becomes his refuge. The Lord alone delivers him and leads him to the end.